Hi, I'm Congressman Scott Garrett, proudly representing New Jersey's 5th District in the House of Representatives. So I want to talk to you today about something that has been of extreme concern to me throughout my career in public service, and that's our country's race towards bankruptcy. With our national debt now topping $15 trillion, budget deficits as far as the eye can see, and unbridled entitlement spending consuming more than half of our annual budget, the financial solvency of the United States is strapped to the front of a high-speed bullet train whistling its way towards the edge of a cliff. So from the water cooler to the dinner table, our nation's spiraling debt crisis has been the focal point of conversations all across our country for the better part now of a year. See, Americans understand that we have a simple yet very dangerous problem. The government spends much more than it takes in. So while understanding the problem is one thing, addressing it has been proven to be downright impossible. The worst kept secret in Washington is the fact that the so-called solutions of this past year to address our fiscal crisis only slowed down the rate of spending. They have not and will not stop it. Washington, D.C. has proven ineffective at showing any real fiscal discipline and seems incapable of having an adult conversation about the steps we need to take to avoid the fiscal calamity barreling down on us. As a matter of fact, the only budget plan introduced this year that would actually balance our budget in less than 10 years was the one from the Republican Study Committee and the Republican Study Committee's budget. It was called Honest Solutions, which I personally authored as chairman of the RC's Budget and Spending Task Force. So while some were better than others, every other budget that was introduced not only continued spending money that we just don't have, but it did absolutely nothing to pay down the $15 trillion in debt that we've already racked up. So we need to do more than just get our country's addiction to spending under control. We need to balance our budget, and we need to balance it now. Not just that, but once we balance our budget, we need to make sure we keep it balanced. So that's why I fully support a balanced budget amendment to the U.S. Constitution. A balanced budget amendment to the Constitution is simple. It would require the federal government to do what, well, 49 of the 50 states are already required to do in some form or another: balance the budget and live within its means. Put simply, it would not allow Congress to spend more money than it takes in. This, in turn, would ensure we do not accumulate more debt, nor compromise our country's economic sovereignty and destroy the value of the U.S. dollar. Passing a balanced budget isn't important only to rein in out-of-control spending. More importantly, we need a balanced budget amendment to start paying down the more than $15 trillion in national debt that we have already racked up over the last several decades. It is simply impossible to start paying down our debt until we stop adding to it. So I've already believed it is the responsibility of every American to preserve and protect our great nation for future generations. In this case, we must protect our children from being trapped under a mountain of debt. We can no longer pay lip service to one of our country's greatest economic threats. We must own this moment and do the right thing by the citizens of the United States of America. We must pass a balanced budget amendment. So starting next week, debate over a balanced budget amendment to the Constitution will take center stage right here in Congress. As was the case during the debt ceiling debate, I will be keeping my constituents up to date on the latest developments surrounding the debate over a balanced budget amendment through my Facebook account. Therefore, to stay up to date with all these proceedings, I encourage you to follow me on Facebook at facebook.com/Rep. Scott Garrett. So thank you very much, and may God bless.